Hey everyone. You know, understand, a lot of people unhappy with the playoffs so far in the NFL. And I don't think you can blame any of the fans or even some of the players, because quite frankly, I wanted to talk about this before, and I did talk about it through an audio, which I was planning to do as an audio video, and unfortunately I just didn't have time to do it. Well, I did have time to record it, I just didn't have time to post it as a video, so that went out the window. Anyway, though, I basically said in there that you got to keep an eye on the officials, because the officials are the ones that can basically play a major factor in the game. And there was no doubt that was proven this past weekend with the divisional playoffs. No doubt in my mind. And the reason the officials play a major factor sometimes is due to the fact that the NFL wants what they want and not what the fans want, or what the teams want. Like if a team is doing good and seems to be on the verge of tying the game or whatever, the officials will screw it up for them in some way. And this is where this kind of situation with the NFL officials has to stop, because it's like, we understand you're out there to do your job, mark the first downs, mark the downs, throw a flag, call it, acknowledge that a coach called a timeout. You're out there to do your job, we get that. But here's what's really kind of messed up about it. During the regular season, the officials can make mistakes, no doubt about it. But then again, it seems that when playoff time comes around, they make more mistakes than anything else. And this is where it's kind of proven that this playoff system of the NFL is rigged. You see, anytime you have Green Bay, New England, Pittsburgh, and maybe a team that's red hot right now, like let's say Atlanta, when you have and someone like Matt Ryan, who some might consider could be on the tail end of his career, we don't know. And here you have these marquee matchups, right? And you think, if you were watching the Kansas City-Pittsburgh game, you think to yourself, well, Kansas City should have had that 2-point conversion. Yeah, maybe Eric Berry did hold the guy, but it was by accident. But it seemed kind of suspicious that the officials were quick to act on calling that flag and taking away the 2 points, and not some of the other times when a flag should have been called. But anyway, long story short, the number 51 officials seem to be quick to call a flag and take the 2 points away. Now, you could probably say to yourself, well, that happens when you break the rules or you get a flag. As far as I know, okay, never once have I ever heard of an extra point, whether it's 2 points or 1, being taken away because of a foul. Most of the time, as far as I know, the point is good. The extra point or 2-point conversion is good, but because they get a flag, they have to start they have to do a kickoff at a more shorter distance instead of a further distance. So the thing is, why make that call? So the question fans have is, why did the referee make that? Why was that number 51 referee so quick to call a flag on that when there was other situations during the game they could have called for it as well. And again, this is where I was talking about, you got to keep an eye on the refs comes into play, because the reason the referee was quick to make that call, and you notice no other officials argued with him, the reason he was quick to make that call is because the NFL ordered him to make some kind of call that would cause Kansas City to lose the game. They tell the referees that if you see a situation to where the game could be close and the other team might be on the verge of taking the lead or tying it, make a call, do something to prevent it. You know why? Because they want that marquee matchup. A matchup we have seen numerous times, and yet in the NFL's mind, we don't get sick of it. Yes, these two are two of the best quarterbacks around. But how many times are we going to see Ben Roethlisberger, and Tom Brady go head-to-head for the AFC Championship, huh? How many times? You know, we might as well just say, yeah, Kansas City, you won the West. Yeah, Houston, you won the Central. Or you won the South. You know. Hey, Miami, you won the East. One of these, but you get what I'm saying. It's like saying, hey, Pittsburgh, you won the North. Hey, Houston, you won the South. Kansas City, you won the West. But hey, Miami, you got in as an at-large. But guess what? That doesn't really matter, because it's the Steelers Patriot show. That's what it's about. So you might as well just lay down and die. That's basically the way it is. That's basically how it's looked at, but in the eyes of many fans, that instead of trying to do things the right way, you're basically telling the teams that get involved, hey, you might as well roll down and die, or not play your heart out, because you're not going to win. And even if you try to play your heart out and win, we're going to take it away from you. The only reason Atlanta is gone as far as they have was because Atlanta is one of those teams that when they do get in the playoffs are shown a little bit of favoritism. Even to the point that Matt Ryan is shown a little bit more favoritism than Russell Wilson. And that's a fact. So, for someone like even Matt Ryan to get maybe some acknowledgement, some favoritism thrown his way over someone like Russell Wilson, that shows you that the NFL will favor anybody, especially if that quarterback's on a team that gets a bye and is one of the best teams in the NFC. Now you might say, well, now you might say that the argument could be Atlanta hasn't been in this position in a long time, and that might be true. And the other argument you could say is, hey, Atlanta, this is the Falcons' last year at the Georgia Dome. They want to send it off in style. I get that. I totally respect that. But if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan, you probably saw that game, and in your eyes saw some calls that were not made. Hey, that should have been made, or that were made and shouldn't have been made. That's how you probably saw those calls right there, and you're probably thinking, well, where's the call in Atlanta for this, or where's the call for Atlanta on that? It's because the NFL makes up their minds. They could have gone with Seattle, which most of us probably thought they would. But instead, they went with Atlanta because, one, it does change things up. And basically, it changes things up in their minds. 2, Atlanta has a bye. And 3, and the third main reason is they do this change up to save the butts. That's why the NFL does this. They do these change ups once in a while, these surprise changes to mix things up, to try to fool everybody into saying that they don't have any favoritism towards any team because of certain players. That's why Atlanta got in. It wasn't because they were better than Seattle, they probably were, but it was due to the fact that the NFL officials, the offices, the commissioner, you name it, they decided, hey, we need to get these people off our back, because if we go with Seattle over Atlanta and then Green Bay over Dallas and have Green Bay at Seattle, it's going to show favoritism. So we got to switch it up. And that's what they did. They switched it up. That's what they did. They switched it up. But then again, you take a look at Green Bay and Dallas, and depending on how you look at Green Bay's and how they won, some could say that Green Bay won fair and square. All right, fine. But then some could say that there were calls not just made on Green Bay, which were unnecessary, but also on Dallas. And some might say that that final play, that final catch of the game that helped Green Bay win it, shouldn't have been called in bounds. It shouldn't have been, ruled as complete. And some will look at that and be like, okay, this is obviously out of bounds and incomplete, but yet they're calling it the other way around. And you know why in your mind they're calling it the other way around? Favoritism, marquee matchup. You know what I'm saying? Would you rather have the rookie quarterback Prescott against Matt Ryan, or what's more attractive? Matt Ryan against Aaron Rodgers, right? So again, the thing is, it's all about marquee matchups, which equal, in the NFL's mind, money. That's what it equals, money. That's what it comes down to, is money. Because when you think about it, people talk about, one guy, his name's Larry, he talks about how the NFL doesn't care about us as fans or consumers because of the fact that the Chargers are now heading to Los Angeles, and the announcement could be made very soon that the Raiders will head to Las Vegas. It's like my mom said, when money talks, you walk. That's what it is. Our actions walk, and that's what's going on. And for the NFL, when it comes to the postseason, to them, if they can get a mark, like on the AFC side, if they can get that marquee Brett Roethlisberger and Tom Brady matchup for the AFC Championship, to them that equals ratings and money. If they can get Rodgers against Ryan in the NFC Championship, which I think's been done once or twice already, that's a marquee matchup, and that equals money. You see, depending on how you look at it, it's all about money with the NFL. It's all about money. It's all about who they want in, and not who deserves, who deserves, or who is earning their way in by trying to win the game. It's all about who they want in because of marquee main event matchup at the Super Bowl that can equal money. That's all it is. And that's why during the Kansas City-Pittsburgh game last night, especially those final moments, why Kansas City was given that call, almost why that referee, despite whether you agree with the Kansas City player that's, shooting on what happened there in an interview last night, despite how you feel about that, whether you agree or not, The NFL, the referee knew what he was doing. So like I said, the NFL officials probably came to him and several others and said, hey, no matter what happens, make sure these teams win somehow. And that's what happened. He saw a situation and probably remembered what he was told, and that's why he made the call. It wasn't because of the holding, maybe it was, but I think mostly because, there was a lot of people get held during a field goal or a two-point conversion. I mean, it's just common. So, anyway, he gets held back. Eric Berry holds a Texan player, and suddenly he gets called for that. And here's what's funny. They don't even let Kansas City take a second shot. Well, they did let Kansas City take a second shot at it, but they moved them back. It's like, really? Suddenly you're going to make this call? You're going to move them back this far? And it's all because of money. It's all because of the fact that the NFL wants the marquee main event matchups. And that means if you're cheering for Green Bay or Atlanta, you got to keep your eyes on the refs. Because if the refs start throwing flags at your team and kind of start showing a little bit of favoritism towards the other, then that pretty much tells you that whether you're a Packers fan or a Falcons fan, if the referee starts showing favoritism to, let's say, the Falcons, and start throwing flags on you, on your team, the Packers, no matter how ridiculous that might be, you can pretty much call it a day. You can pretty much say, oh, well, it looks like Atlanta's going to go to the Super Bowl. Whoopee. Same with Green Bay. Same with if you were an Atlanta Falcon fan and they started favoring Green Bay. You'd be like, oh, well, it looks like the Packers are going back to another Super Bowl. Whoopee. Same with the AFC. Basically, what this is, ladies and gentlemen, is nothing more than money talking and people walking. That's all it is. That's all it is. And it needs to stop. Let's look at it this way. With the AFC Championship, you got Pittsburgh and New England. Okay. This one's going to be a toss-up because you're going to have to keep an eye on the refs real closely to see who the NFL wants to favor to go to the Super Bowl. Again, it's all about marquee matchups, and they have 4 potential matchups here. They could have Matt Ryan in Atlanta against Tom Brady, New England. Matt Ryan against Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers against either one of them. And that the big one that they want is Rodgers and Brady. So keep an eye. So basically what I'm saying is, don't be surprised if the Steelers and the Falcons start getting flagged on, start getting calls put against them, and favoritism shown towards the Packers and the Patriots, because that's what the NFL wants for the marquee matchup, for their Super Bowl. They don't care. That's what it is. They don't care. And the time has come for this to stop, because quite honestly, there's going to be a lot of fans that if we go Brady Rodgers again or Brady Roethlisberger again, yeah, you'll have an audience and all that, but quite honestly, the only thing they're going to be interested in seeing is the Lady Gaga halftime show, and that's it. Because afterwards, it's going to be like, they're going to tune it out, and they'll be like, yeah, we've seen this again before. Well, we've seen this kind of Super Bowl before. Whoopee. They're going to get sick and tired of that. You're going to make the Super Bowl very stale. That's all I'm going to say. So, those are my thoughts on the NFL playoffs so far. And, the referees' influence in these games as we speak. So, let me know what you think down below. Comment if you like. I'm out.